Here comes the money, money, money. Oh, that didn't work. Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. It is now our second video on the Newcastle United takeover, but I couldn't not talk about it. Newcastle United are on the brink of becoming one of the richest clubs in world football. According to reports, PCP Capital Partners have got a deal with Mike Ashley to buy Newcastle United for £300 million. 10% will be owned by Amanda Staveley, 10% will be owned by the Reuben brothers, one of the richest families in Britain, then the other 80% will go to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, who have a combined wealth of £260 billion. That's more than every Premier League owner combined. But the big question remains, is the takeover actually going to happen? Newcastle fans have been through the mill in recent years. There's been takeover attempt after takeover attempt. Multiple people have been buying. Floyd Mayweather was talking about it. I mean, that was a load of bollocks, but that's by the by. But this time, it seems different. The Premier League have confirmed to various sources that paperwork has been submitted. There's a legal framework, there was Companies House stuff. It looks like this takeover is going ahead. Newcastle United are going to be done with Mike Ashley and are going to be one of the richest clubs in the world, owned by Saudi Arabian money, which isn't great. But at the front of the deal is Amanda Staveley, a woman who Mike Ashley previously called a time waster, having tried to buy the club in 2017. But considering she's been trying to buy Newcastle United for 3 years, I don't think she's a time waster at all. She seems desperate to own a football club ever since she broke with the deal that saw Sheikh Mansour take over Manchester City. I mean, this whole takeover story has been crazy. It's defied belief at times. It first made the news in the Wall Street Journal in late January. Then there was talk of this woman who's friends with Kim Kardashian, who introduced Amanda Staveley in the Public Investment Fund. So basically, Kanye West is going to be playing at St James's Park. I'm kidding, no one wants that. I mean, we've got Ed Sheeran 3 nights in a row, no one wanted that. But according to reports, this takeover could be done within weeks, and Mike Ashley's 13-year association with Newcastle could be over. You won't find a single Newcastle fan who'll miss Ashley, although people in the mainstream media will tell you that Ashley's done a great job, Newcastle fans should be thankful to him. But then oddly, Rio Ferdinand didn't have the same stance about the Manchester United owners not too long ago when they were playing crap. It's almost as if the Man United owners don't sell his cheap tatty hats in these horrible shops. No Newcastle United fan is going to remember Mike Ashley fondly. It all started with the Kevin Keegan debacle. The man was Newcastle royalty, and he was treated like absolute garbage by Mike Ashley in favour of horrible little toads like Dennis Wise and Tony Jimenez. He sacked Chris Hughton despite the bloke doing a fantastic job in basically saving the club after relegation. He handed Alan Pardew an 8-year contract, which doesn't actually expire until September this year. He tried to sell the stadium rights. I mean, St James's Park was once called the Sports Direct Arena. His horrible logos are plastered all over the stadium. He changed Shearer's bar to 9 bar. He failed to capitalise on a 5th place finish in the Premier League, only signing Vernon Anita afterwards. They treated Jonas Gutierrez like absolute garbage. The man had cancer, recovered, came back and scored the goal that kept Newcastle in the Premier League, yet he was released by a phone call. Then they got relegated again, with Rafa having to take the club back from the Championship to the Premier League. Otherwise, things could have gone really tits up. And what did he get? Absolutely nothing. He was treated with contempt by Mike Ashley, just for simply defying what the owner wanted. I mean, all he wanted was a little bit of ambition. That's why Newcastle fans love Rafa so much, because he wanted to take the club where it could be. Whereas Mike Ashley just thought, nah, it can stay where it is, not interested. Then Benitez went on his way, leaving the Magpies to scramble to get Steve bloody Bruce as manager. They had to pay compensation to Sheffield Wednesday to get a manager who really isn't Premier League standard, although he has done quite well, fair play to him. There's been no ambition, no investment. The club has been treated like one of Mike Ashley's horrible tatty high street shops. Those high street tatty shops who Mike Ashley wanted people to go to work to during this global health crisis just to sell horrible Slazenger tennis rackets and gym wear. He took season ticket money off fans for next season with all this going on, and then he furloughed the club's staff, something that Liverpool and Tottenham have been absolutely vilified for. So yeah, no Toon fan's going to miss Ashley. But with the Saudis coming in, are Newcastle selling their soul to an even bigger devil than they already had? The Saudi regime have been accused of sport washing, which is basically investing loads of money into sport in hope to mask up where the money's came from, what they stand for, and basically just clean up their public image. But for reference, the human rights record is absolutely deplorable. They still have executions there. Women aren't treated equally. What about LGBT? Nope, it's illegal, and punishments range from fines to torture. But at the end of the day, should Toon fans really care? To a certain extent, yes they should, because it's absolutely shocking what the Saudi Arabian government do. But they aren't the first, and they certainly won't be the last sporting body to benefit from Saudi money. As Barney Ronnie brilliantly wrote in a Guardian article, the Saudis aren't coming, they're already here. Mohamed Salah is partially sponsored by Saudis, West Ham are partially owned by them, so is Sheffield United, Man United have had dealings with them, so have Barcelona. Away from football, WWE have a massive deal with the Saudi Arabian government. They're trying to get into F1 and build a track there and get Grand Prix over there. I mean hell, our own government have sold arms to the Saudi Arabians. Newcastle are not the first and they certainly won't be the last. It's not right, but it's happening all around us. Back to Newcastle United though, are they going to become the next Manchester City? Financially, absolutely yes, but in terms of where they can be in the Premier League, it's going to be a lot harder for the Magpies than it was for City. First things first, when City were taken over back in 2008, the Premier League only really had a top 4, so there was less for Man City to break into. Now it's a top 6, you could even say a top 8 with Leicester and Wolves. As it stands, Newcastle are in the bottom half of the Premier League, only just above the relegation zone. They've got a long way to go just to get into the top half, never mind dreaming of the Champions League and the likes of Magpies signing. And at the end of the day, they're still based in Newcastle, they're still based in the northeast of England, where players predominantly don't want to go. Man City had the lure of Manchester, they already had the history of Manchester United and Liverpool around them, whereas Newcastle, what does they come to see? The Angel of the North and Cheryl Cole? And if this takeover does go through, what happens to Steve Bruce? Effectively, that man will be in charge of the richest club in world football. This is a man who's, well, he's not done much in his management career. He's lucky to be Newcastle manager right now. Never mind when the filthy rich can sign anyone they want, with reason. Fans will have loftier ambitions than they already had loftier ambitions than Steve Bruce. They'll probably want Rafa to come back. Amanda Staveley certainly wanted him in 2017. The debate will go on forever about the Saudis' involvement, but I think one thing most Newcastle fans and most football fans can agree on is that Mike Ashley's reign is finally coming to an end, and thank goodness. But this is going to change Newcastle United as we know it forever. Have Newcastle United won the lottery, or have they sold their soul to an even bigger devil than the one they already had? So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport, and until next time, we'll see you around.